What's up guys, and welcome back to another video, another one of the lists that we have compiled from our experiences of visiting America.
That's right, we're going to talk about 8 words that we'd never used, or at least in these contexts, before we went to America. It took a trip to the USA ourselves to realize that the English language we both use has some slight differences.
Guess what guys, just before we get into today's video, YouTube has actually recently shown us that over 60% of you guys who watch our videos aren't subscribed, so make sure you go down below and make sure you hit that subscribe button to support us. It means a lot. And it wasn't until certain things happened while we were in America where we had to use these words in everyday moments that it really hit home for us. So here's a list of the 8 words that stood out to us the most. First up, we have a word that we encountered pretty quickly after we landed in LA, and that word is trunk.
That's right, we rented a car as soon as we touched down in LA, and as we were grabbing the keys from the rental company, he said it's one of the cars with the trunk lid up, which would have been confusing at first, but when we looked out, we realized there was a bunch of cars with their boot lid up,
yes,
and figured that what we call boot, you call trunk.
Yep.
When we think of the word trunk, it's usually in reference to an elephant, but I'm guessing when you guys think of the word boot, it's usually in reference to boots.
Yep.
So that's a weird little crossover, one that you don't even think is related,
no,
but completely different words for the same thing. If you've been following our videos from our recent trip to America of us trying foods for the first time, you've probably come across this word that we got confused. Not confusing for us, but a different word that you guys use, and that's sandwich and burger.
Yes. So for us, obviously, we had to film quite a few videos going into like different fast food restaurants, and obviously the main things on the menu there were sandwiches and burgers. But here in New Zealand, they're actually 2 separate things. So a burger is basically anything that's inside a burger bun, doesn't matter what meat or anything is inside it. And then a sandwich is what is inside 2 slices of bread. And it's just always been those 2 bits of food, just separated into those 2 categories. But obviously when we get over there to America, we're trying things like chicken sandwiches, which are actually, to us, chicken burgers.
That's right, so they look the same as a burger inside a burger bun, but in reference in USA, you call them sandwiches. And that was a really hard one to get our minds around because it just comes out of the mouth like that. It's a burger.
Yes.
And if it's between 2 slices of bread, then it's a sandwich.
Yeah.
But did they call sandwiches burgers as well?
So Whataburger do these things that actually have bread,
That's a sandwich.
but they're actually called burgers.
Pardon?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it was like...
There's some confusion there, so there's some grey areas, but I do remember, like, while we were editing, like, say, for instance, the Popeyes video, and we just kept calling them burgers, even the chicken ones.
We even copped a bit of flack from you guys in the comments for not getting it right. And I'm not even sure I still understand the rules of those words.
Yeah.
I'm still confused.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get there one day, though.
One day.
So number 3 is actually a word that we came across quite early on during Atlanta's Kitchen episode, and that word is mince.
That's right. Mince. There was some confusion with this one when we came across this word initially.
Yep.
So a lot of you thought that we were saying mince, but for us in New Zealand, ground beef, what you call ground beef, we call mince.
Yeah.
So when we say that word, a lot of you guys thought we were referring to mince.
Yes, I'm sure you guys have heard of the saying minced meat before.
That's right.
That's
So
where it comes
minced
from.
meat is what we call mince, and you call it ground beef. So if we referred to mince on toast,
Yeah.
you thought we were referring to mince on toast.
Like mint candy on toast.
So there was some confusion there early on, and I realized once we were in America, you definitely don't call it mince, you call it ground beef. Blinker and indicator.
That's right. So obviously going back to the whole rental car situation after we first landed in LA, after we eventually found the car with its trunk lid up, we hopped in. I hopped in on the other side of the car and started driving, and obviously I was quite scared about driving on the other side of the road, so I was a little bit flustered, which caused me to take a while to figure out where the indicator or the blinker was. What you guys call the blinker.
We didn't realize you called it the blinker until after we released the vlog.
Yes.
And we called it indicator. You all thought that was hilarious because you call it a blinker.
Yeah, so you can actually hear me panicking quite a lot in the vlog, in the LA vlog, where I'm trying to scream where I'm saying I can't find the indicator as we're turning the corner on a really busy intersection. next up, we have a word that you guys find kind of amusing, because what you call a shopping cart, we call a trolley.
Yeah, so the very first ever taste of America that we got was actually here in our own country when Costco opened its first store in New Zealand. And we went to Costco for the very first time.
Whoa.
Christmas tree.
What the heck? This is massive.
It was during this video that we called your ginormous shopping cart a trolley.
I have never seen a trolley that big in my whole life.
whole family could fit in. We could all fit in.
Oh, that's massive.
Because that's what we call them here in New Zealand.
In the comments.
A few of you had a chuckle in the comments,
Yeah.
but we call shopping carts trolleys. Next up is a word that we encountered pretty quickly on our trip to the USA with 2 kids, and that is the word candy. So what you call candy, we actually call lolly.
That's right. So when we actually visited a place called The Grove in LA, that's kind of where we got our first taste of a real American candy store.
I know. It smells like candy. Let's have a look around.
Wow, I've never seen, we don't have stores like this in New Zealand.
And obviously the kids, they're walking past and they say, "Dad, look at the lolly shop," which is what we call it.
Yeah.
So of course we go inside, and just the selection of everything is just absolutely mind-blowing.
And crazy, eh?
This is insane.
I know.
Wow.
Look at all the different flavoured popcorn you can get.
Nothing like we get here in New Zealand.
No.
And the only thing that we might call something differently is chocolate. So if there's a chocolate bar, we call that a chocolate bar, but you guys actually call that a candy bar.
Wait, are there any bars that we haven't tried yet? Oh, a nut roll. Peanut chews. Wow. What a selection.
So the word lolly for us encompasses almost everything sweet that you would find in a candy store,
Yep.
except for chocolate,
Yes.
which we call a chocolate bar.
Exactly. And America knows how to do candy.
That's for sure. Sounds pretty self-explanatory to you guys, but oddly enough, here in New Zealand, we call a swimsuit togs.
Yeah, I don't. Why?
Why do we call them togs?
I have no idea.
I have no idea why we call them togs, but I know that in Australia, a lot of you guys in Australia call them cozies, and I know that that's short for swimming costume. Cozies. We don't say that here. We say togs. No idea why. If you're a Kiwi and you know why, please let us know.
Yeah, exactly.
But you guys all call them swimsuit, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, definitely. And also, we actually had a bit of a situation at one of the hotels where there was an incident in one of the swimming pools there where Atlanta's swimsuit, or togs, got bleached because of the Hurricane Hillary and the hotel overreacting by putting too much chlorine into the pool.
Yes.
So we had a bit of a situation where I went to the front desk and said, "Look, my daughter's togs are now damaged and discolored from the chlorine," and they looked at me like, "What? What are you, the water bleached?" And I was like, "Oh, I mean swimsuit."
Yeah.
So it's another one of those boot trunk situations.
It is.
Where I didn't know what they didn't know what I was saying at first.
Look, we have no idea why we call them togs, but that's what we call them, and it works.
Yep, called them that since we were kids. Alright guys, so we are on the final word of the list, but it's actually not a word, it's a letter.
That's right. This one's caused confusion right from the start of our channel because it is the pronunciation of the letter Z, which we call Z, but you call Z.
Yep.
So we always start our videos with,
What's up, NZers?
"What's up, NZers?
What's up, NZers? What's up, NZers?
What's up, NZers?" And this has always been confusing to you guys because if you were saying it, you would say, "What's up, NZers?"
Yes.
NZ is short for New Zealand, and if you're a New Zealander, you're often called an NZer, or it's shortened to NZ.
Exactly.
You would say NZ.
Yes, and that's why we actually said that at the beginning of the videos, is because it's kind of like a little bit of a link to the differences that we have between America and New Zealand.
So our channel is really all about the differences in culture between New Zealand and America, and discovering America for the very first time, trialing all of your foods and your rich culture. And very early on, a play on that was the difference in Z and Z.
Exactly.
So you guys are called our NZers. If you called yourself that, it would be NZers.
Yes, and who can forget Z-Bear from the Costco video?
What's that? Den.
Zeddy Bear!
Zed Bear!
Your best buddy!
Plan to get it, but you're all wrong.
And you'll be just in time to see our next trip to America, where we're going to discover all things small town. So we're taking a giant road trip all around 9 states
In an RV.
in an RV, visiting all the best things that small town America has to offer. So subscribe and you can join us for that content. If you did enjoy this video, guys, and you loved hearing about the differences in the words that we use, make sure you show us by giving us a thumbs up. You could even drop a comment of other words that you can think of, and we might be back for a part 2.
That's right. And we love you guys, and we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Woo.